Welcome back, students. In this class we studied the chapter direct and inverse proportion, chapter 13, exercise 13.1. The problem here is the 8th problem. Rashmi has a road map with a scale of 1 centimeter representing 18 kilometers. She drives on the road for 72 kilometers. What would be the distance covered in the map? So what happens, this Rashmi, she is having a road map. So road map, she drives for 18 kilometers. In the map it is shown as 1 centimeters. So then she drives for, now this is the first case, then she drives for 72 kilometers. Then what is the distance covered in the map? So 72 kilometers, and what is the distance covered in the map we have to calculate. So first step is, let the distance covered, we'll take it as x. In the map, any variable we can take. In the map be x centimeters. So now what happens, we can take 1 centimeter is to 18 kilometers, then x we don't know, then 72 kilometers. Now we can write it as 1 by 18 is equal to x by 72. Cross multiply these two. Therefore we get 18x is equal to 72. Therefore x is equal to 72 by 18. 18 ones are 18 fours are. So in the map it shows 4 centimeters. So 72 kilometers she drives. In the map it is shown as 4 centimeters. That's all. So 18 kilometers she drives. In the map it is shown as 1 centimeters. Then 72 kilometers she drives. Then it is shown as 4 centimeters. So this is the answer. Hence we can write here the distance covered in the map would be 4 centimeters. So this is the answer for 8th problem. Next we move on to the 9th one. 9th problem is, a 5 meter 60 centimeter height vertical pole casts a shadow of 3 meters 20 centimeters long. Find at the same time, first there are two questions, sub questions. The length of the shadow cast by another pole is 10 meter 50 centimeters high. Next question is the height of the pole of a pole which casts a shadow 5 meters long. So we have first, what is the data means. The data given is, see, first is the pole 5 meter 60 centimeter height vertical pole. It forms a shadow of 3 meter 20 centimeters long. So we'll find out, first solution we'll write. Let the height of the vertical pole B is equal to x meters. Next, the height of the vertical pole. Next is the length of the shadow. So height we take it as x, we don't know the x meters, and the length of the shadow. Length of the shadow we'll take it as y meters. So as we know that as the height of the vertical pole increases, the shadow also increases. I'll write one point is, as height of the pole increases height of the pole increases, length of the shadow also increases. So in the same ratio. So next, the case of direct proportion, we'll take it as x1 y1 is equal to x2 y2. Next, first case we'll take. In the first case, the length of the shadow cast by another pole is 10 meters and 50 centimeters height. So x1 will take it as what? 5 meters 60 centimeters is equal to, we can write it as 5.60 meters. x1, y1 is 3 meters. So this is x1, 3 meters and 20 centimeters. This will become how much? That is 3.20 meters. So now what happens? x2 is given. Next, x2 is equal to how much they have given? 10 meters and 50 centimeters. 10 meters, 50. This is x1. This is the pole length. This is the shadow length given in the first part of the question. See, this is the vertical pole and this is the shadow vertical pole. So this will become x1 and this will become y1. So next we have only the length of the shadow cost, only the shadow we have. Therefore 10 meters 50 centimeters. This can be written as 10.50 meters. Now we'll take this formula, that is x1 y1 is equal to x2 y2. Substitute the values. So what happens? x1 is, that is 5.60 by 3.20, or 0 directly we can write it as 10.5. y2 we don't know. So this is the, so we got this one. This is the pole, and this is the shadow, and this is the pole. Again we are calculating the shadow. Now cross multiply this. So we'll get y2 into 5.6 is equal to, multiply these two, that is 3.2 into 10.5. Finally y2 is equal to 3.2 into 10.5 by 5.6. So after this, simplify this, we'll get it as 6. So what is the length of the shadow? That is 6 we are getting. The length of the shadow is, finally we can write it as, the length of the shadow is 6 meters. So poles they have given and we have to find out the shadow is 6 meters. So this is how to solve the problem. Once again I'll explain. First, the main question is, they had given a pole here and the pole casts a shadow of this one. So this will become x1 and this will become y1. The length of the shadow, again they have given a pole they have given, we have to find out the shadow. Again one more question they have given, the height of the pole which casts. Here the height of the pole is not given, the shadow is given, we have to find out the height of the pole. So we'll took this one as x1 and y1. This is the height of the pole, this is the shadow caused by this pole. Again we have this one more pole, that is x2, that is first sub question, that is the height of the pole they have given, we have to find out the shadow length. So we substituted using x1 y1 x2 y2. After this we get the height of the shadow as 6 meters. So this is the question. We will move on to the second part of the question, ninth question. So in the second part we have here what they have given means only the shadow they have given. So therefore we'll take this. So to solve, here also x1 we will take it as 5 meters 60 centimeters, which is equal to 5.60 centimeters, 560. So in the previous question we have taken this as meters, now we are taking it as centimeters. So 56, this one as 560. Next y1 is equal to 3 meters, we are converting it to centimeters. First we converted into meters. 320 centimeters, which is equal to 320 centimeters. So now y3, what is they have given? 5 meters. So 5 meters is equal to how much? 500 centimeters. So now we'll substitute in the value in the formula x1 y1 x3 y3. So we are taking, now we'll substitute the values, that is 560 by 320 is equal to x3 by 500, cross multiply this, therefore we get x3 into 320 is equal to 560 into 500. Simplify this, we get how much? That is x3 is equal to, we get 875. So 875, and what we have to give? This one we have to keep in the form meters and centimeters. So we can write as the height of the pole is 8 meters. This one can be written as and 75 centimeters. Since we converted here into centimeters, this can be 875. 875 can be written as 8 meters and 75 centimeters. So be careful while converting this. In the first case we found out the pole, the shadow, therefore we converted into meters. Now we are finding out the pole length, therefore we converted into centimeters. Finally we kept this in the form, that is meters and centimeters. So next question is, a loaded truck travels 14 kilometers in 25 minutes. If the speed remains the same, how far can it travel in 5 hours? So a loaded truck, this is the truck, consider this as a truck, and it travels how much? That is 14 kilometers in 25 minutes. Then next question is, how many kilometers in the speed remains same in 5 hours? So this is in minutes and this is in hours. So two quantities also here, also x and so we'll take here x and y. X and y means two quantities. Solution will take, that is two quantities x and y which vary in direct proportion have the relation. So we can solve this. We'll take this x and we'll take it as my, or we can write it as x by y is equal to m. So here we have m, we can take it as number of kilometers traveled, number of kilometers traveled or covered we can take over time in hours. Therefore, what is the number of kilometers traveled? First is 14, and time in hours means, what is the time means? 25 minutes by 60. Now 25 by 60 we have to take, since it is in hours, it is in minutes, so divided by 60. This goes up, then 14 into 60 by 25, this will be 168 by 5. Finally, the distance traveled now what is this x? X is the distance traveled in 5 hours. The distance traveled in 5 hours. So next what happens? We'll continue. So we'll using the relation x is equal to what we have taken, my. We have x is equal to what m we got. So in the previously we got m as this one, as that is number of kilometers traveled by time in hours. We substitute the values, we got 168 by 5. So what is x here? X is the distance traveled in 5 hours. So x is equal to m by we have, therefore substitute the values, we have 168 by 5 into 5 hours. So what we had that is in the 14 kilometers traveled covered in 25 minutes, and 5 hours we have to find out the distance traveled, this one. So we substituted here, then x is equal to cancel this, we get 168. So what happens here? 168 we got, hence the distance traveled is 168 kilometers. So finally we have to write, so the distance traveled in 5 hours is 168 kilometers. So this is the answer. So this covers the 10th problem. We have, that is the last problem in the 3.1 exercise. We move on to the 3.2 exercise. In the 3.2 exercise, we have the first problem as, which of the followings are in the inverse proportion? So they are given 5 sub-problems. So we'll take one by one. Just we have to write one line answer. The number of workers on a job and the time to complete the job. So what is the answer means? Just we have to write with which of the following is inverse and it is not inverse proportion. The first option here is we write the number of workers on a job or jobs and the time to complete the job, time to complete the jobs or job, or in inverse proportion. Inverse proportion. So this is the answer we have to write. So next one is the time taken for a journey and the distance traveled in a uniform speed. So here the same we have to write the time taken for a journey and the distance traveled in a uniform speed or time taken for a journey and the distance traveled in a uniform speed or not in inverse proportion. So this is the second one. Then third one, area of a cultivated land and the crop harvested. So this is area of cultivated land and the crop harvested or not in inverse proportion. This is third one. Next we see fourth one. The time taken for fixed journey and speed of the vehicle. The time taken for a fixed journey and the speed of the time taken for the fixed journey and the speed of the vehicle are in inverse proportion. The last part of the question is the population of the country and the area of the land per person. The population of a country and the area of the land per person or in inverse proportion. So just we have to write which of the following is in inverse proportion. So here we have first question and fourth, fifth are in the inverse proportion. So this is the solution for the first question in 3.2 exercise. So this completes the today's class. If you have any doubt, comment me, subscribe my channel, share and like all the videos. Thank you.